Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Lisa. Welcome everyone to Diamond Quantum Law. And I have to say I'm a little bit disturbed this morning because we have the sovereign presence of soul here stepping up and out. And this is the reality of this time that we're coming into. If you think that this is a mental construct, an emotional construct, okay, not quite there yet, okay? This is soul connection, embodying with the little pointy you to be present, okay, to come into existence as a true creator. So instead of just doing in duality a 3% creation, trying to push it out through the use of the little will and force, we're actually coming into the greater you connection that is just majestic, the magnificent, opulent creations, 333% creations in comparison to 3%. So we're talking about being able to manifest. And while we're doing that process, while we're coming into this leap, this shift into I am that I am, and I am directing onto my own quantum field what it is that I desire to live. And this is the true destiny that's coming through right now, okay, that we're coming into 5D and new earth age. It's not going to look anything like what we thought it would. Isn't that amazing? Okay, it is way bigger than your little pointy yous can believe. So that's why it's just important to let go. Who cares what your little pointy you thinks? It's really not that important. And you go, well, that insults my intelligence. Trust me, when you get to know your board of directors, when you meet your divine feminine, you're going, oh my goodness, I stepped aside. Okay, she pushed me aside one day and goes, excuse me, I get 100% return on everything that I put out. Okay, I was actually getting in the way. The divine masculine is the immaculate power of doing. It'll let everyone in. The doing force, I make passage. I make passage. Okay, you can't have the one without the other. It reminds me of the song, isn't it? Can't have one without the other. Okay, and the divine inner child, of course, is the third part of that. And the divine inner child is the experiencer who draws the pixelation of your desires into your lived experience. And suddenly you go, it's arrived. I'm living my abundant life. I'm actually in the flow. I am living, I'm projecting. I am living and projecting with the quantum field, my own quantum field, which is sped up now and becoming 0 point quantum that we're tapping into. Most of us here have been around long enough to know and remember the days that it used to take about 3 years for a dream or a vision or something to be fulfilled. Do you remember that? Now we get something and it's here today. I thought and now I get it. Okay, I thought and now here is my reality. So your board of directors is sped up. Everything is sped up, and the new earth is a part of a new and cleansed quantum field, and that is actually happening in reality right now. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on astrologically that's beyond us, and perhaps our comprehensions. I'm trying to feed this through to Diamond Matrix Masters, the group. So if you do get messages through, hey, it's not just me talking about it. This is higher channeled messages from beyond. This light work, this light language that is coming in is the new stuff. Okay, if you want to know what's really going on from a galactic perspective, okay, go to a higher source. Okay, so I can only just pass on what I'm going through. Now, who here uses remote viewing, any of the Claire gifts? Okay, dreaming visions. Thanks, Lisa. I can't see a lot of you. Jolene, oh no, that's my hand. Okay, but I totally recommend you tuning into your own isness of being, because this is where you get your true messages from. You'll get it in what we teach in the law of acquisition, of vibrational absolute. You'll get a vision of the future. You'll get how things are going to happen to you. You'll get it because you ask. And if you ask, you shall receive. So it's better that everything comes through your sovereign soul perspective than the little pointy you in separation to the reality of sovereignty. And so that's why I teach on this. Now, let's introduce some of the interesting things, okay, that I've been giving out. So if you believe in the gifts, okay, I actually use remote viewing, which is lucid dreaming in particular. I love lucid dreaming. It's like if I'm actually thinking about something and I want to get to the source, okay, I will actually use lucid dreaming. So that is one of the ways that you can actually travel deep into what it is that you're wanting to know, because you're a creator. So if you're the creator projecting onto a quantum field, you're actually projecting onto a living quantum field that has to produce what it is that you're after. That's what soul sovereignty is. So we're crossing people into the new leadership model of 5D, and it is to gain people who actually work with their gifts, okay, their intuition, the knowledge that comes through. Amazing business strategies just drop down your chute with clairsentience. Have you ever had that? It's sort of like, I need to know. I can see this problem. What is it? And I will get like this. It's like a torpedo coming down into your crown chakra, and bang, you have the whole business scope on it. Okay, it's genius. And it is genius because it comes from your soul sovereign self, the greater you. Okay, very powerful. And if you want to be 100% successful as a creator, like I said, 3% or 333%, which would you prefer to manifest if you're going to be manifesting? Okay, what level of manifestation would you like? Okay, this is just superb. And I just want to share. So today is a little bit unusual, okay, in that I've been using lucid dreaming, and about 7 years ago. So I'm actually telling a story for myself today that came to the end of a cycle after 7 years of getting this information. So it's just interesting personally, might seem a bit weird to those that have not heard of this stuff before. But this is what is behind light workers. And this is what my job is, to activate light workers so that you can operate more intelligently, more intellectually, more engaged than ever before on how these things work. So that you're not being hard on yourself, but actually that you're only expanding into a greater existence, into a greater experience, because there's no judgment in that, is there? Okay, judgment is the thing that cripples us and takes away our freedom. But when we are just standing in light, okay, and again, there's that question, if my soul pulled out of the top of my head right now, what would my body do? Yes, it would fall on the ground. Okay, it would fall on the ground. You can ask any intellectual, I don't care who it is, doctor, lawyer, scientist, Uber driver, plumber. Okay, they know, we all know that we leave the planet. The soul leaves, we're not here anymore. Okay, so if your soul pulled out of your body right now, what would your body do? It'd fall on the ground. So that's why we need to actually understand ourselves as an energetic being, okay, who's been living in numerous lifetimes. We do have many new souls on the planet, but we've also got many old souls that have been in and out of this dimension from 5D, okay, and above. We're talking multidimensional. You have to be at least 7-dimensional beings before you can even incarnate on Earth. Okay, so you've already made it. Isn't that good news? No work. Just get into alignment, okay, which we've actually come into this morning. So feeling the presence again and really igniting that within your heart chakra. Whew, this is where peace is. When you come into alignment, and it only takes a holy instant to do, you actually can tune into the greater you and your soul sovereign self and gain the intuition, okay, through your gifts. And you will know because you know that that's how it works. You will not judge yourself. You will not doubt yourself. You'll go, I thought it came. I do now. Okay, this is how easy it is to action. Okay, and to become, moving forward in expansion. So I talk about expansion. I talk about two things mostly is alignment with the greater you, alignment and expansion into experience. There's nothing to change or fix about you, just move into the next and the next and the next, which is so freeing, okay? Because we just remove all of the self-doubt and questioning. Okay, so 7 years ago, I got this message and it came through in that dreaming sense that I was telling you about. And it said, the single and the dot. The single and the dot. And I'm going, oh, what's that? Okay, and I looked it up and I looked up all of these ancient texts. I went out to Ra teachings and all sorts of things, okay, that came up. I looked at it in all of the different languages, couldn't find anything on it. The single and the dot. I was kind of exploring what does it look like as a symbol. So I was writing, it looked like an exclamation mark, the single stroke and the dot underneath it. And so this has just been hanging around for years. You know how you get one of those little things and you're not quite sure, what is that? And it doesn't touch down and you don't get it. And as it was funny trying to bring it into my lived reality for a little while there. It just wasn't touching down. You know how you wake up from a dream and you've just lost the lot and it was genius and you wanted to remember it? Yeah, that was like this. So anyway, dropped down, got it. Okay. Now, during this week, or the last 2 weeks, people have been posting on Monach butterflies. Okay, last 3 nights, Joe, good on you. That'd be interesting, follow through, okay? Monarch butterfly. So the monarch butterfly is this beautiful butterfly. And when I was a child, I had no idea, but I actually used to collect the cocoons and the eggs, and I used to take them through their full cycles on the plants and the milkweeds that they used to actually nourish themselves on. And so it was very powerful symbology for myself, who was just this little farm kid, shy as, couldn't talk to anyone, but was a really creative little explorer on my own property. Okay, it was lovely. But at the same time, the monarch butterfly had strong symbology. So anyway, it's been coming up for like 2 or 3 weeks now. Monarch butterfly. Everyone's talking about the monarch butterfly. And I go, how interesting. And I'd sort of engaged in a couple of posts on it and things like that. Anyway, one lady, somebody actually posted the meaning of the monarch butterfly. Yes. Look at Lisa. She's got it as her emblem. Of course she does. Thanks, Lisa. Got the message as soon as you clicked it. The monarch butterfly, of course, is representing coming out of something, coming out of a cocoon, coming into new life, isn't it? So it's a very, very powerful symbol that we've used to heal our lives and to heal ourselves. But this message was a universal message that came through one day, and I didn't even keep a copy of it. I was so excited, I wrote down the notes and then couldn't find it again. So the monarch butterfly actually represents a 3-generational story pattern. Okay, so if you remember, things can actually happen because we come in lifetime after lifetime. Okay, and depending on what we're actually involved with, okay, so it could be poverty, it could be illness, unwellness, it could be all sorts of things. It could be addiction. So it says up to 7 generations, a curse can actually take place in the children and the grandchildren, etc. And that's why in our school, we actually sign off contracts, remove pain bodies and things like that. I'm not sure who's coming in right now, but it looks exciting. So these things are actually happening to us and get passed on to the next generation and next generation. And so our job as light workers and to heal our lives is usually to overcome what it is that we have been wrapped in. Isn't that right? Okay, so we get wrapped in stuff, maybe mum or dad's stuff, probably both of it, because it's actually built into us at conception. Okay, whatever. I had one baby that was just so sick with reflux for 5 months since he was born. And I came into his life and we healed him. And I said, what to the parents, what have you been involved in? They've been involved in a royal commission, okay, which is very high law action in Australia, a royal commission. And so this poor little one, okay, was vomiting from the day he was doing because of the stress. Isn't that amazing? Hi, Grace, welcome. Welcome.
Hi, hello from Poland.
Okay, we'll talk at the end. So what I love about this is that we are removing vibrational stories, and sometimes we don't even know we've got the vibrational story going on. And guess what? The Monach pattern, never heard of this before, goes to 3 generations of fear-based parenting. Okay, isn't this interesting? Fear-based parenting. Now, what's this book about? Coming out of fear, who we really are, okay? Coming out of duality, which is completely fear-based. So fear-based parenting, my parents are very, very Christian, okay, extremely fundamental Christians. So they're waiting and praying for me every day. All right, this is still happening right now, okay, because I need salvation. Now, this is interesting because this is going to get to something that is blocking us financially, okay, from being blessed. So it's quite interesting how this works. So my parents actually are fear-based in that they believe in duality, which is right versus wrong. It's a penal system, heaven versus hell, okay, light versus dark. It's always something to judge or separate oneself from. Okay, our message is to come into sovereign being, which is in unity and oneness, which has no issue whatsoever. When you've met your board of directors, your divine feminine, divine masculine, divine inner child, you have no issue. How are you all feeling? Pretty relaxed? Okay, because you have no issue. When you're in the presence, you have no issue. I love you, Elizabeth. Warm the cockles of my heart. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so when fear-based parenting, wow, had no idea, but I have to say that because of all the signs throughout my life, I've actually showed up really well, okay, according to my particular soul script. Okay, so I came in to overcome a 3-generational, and by the way, we are overcoming the traditions of this time, because the world and earth is actually run on duality, which is right versus wrong, good versus bad. We've wiped out, like I said, the original sovereign beings, okay, and we have a hierarchy system, all right? So now we're actually letting that go and coming into the oneness, which is projection onto your quantum field to gain whatever it is that you want to experience from a higher destiny perspective. So coming out of fear is a massive one. Who recognizes fear-based parenting in their background? It's so big. Okay, when I was 6 or 7, I went down the tube into just a nightmare. I couldn't even think, because I thought I was going to hell unless I gave my heart to Jesus every Sunday. So if you think that school was important to me at that time, no, I was just not going to hell. Okay, that's a long way to take a child. Okay, and that happened for what, until the age of 12, and I was finally able to get up the courage, because I was a super shy child, to be able to go up front and give my heart to Jesus. And then I didn't really know whether that worked either. Whoa. And even today, my parents are praying for me because they believe that I still could be going to hell. Now, you want fear-based parenting? That is what is a generational thing, that people are actually breaking out of these story vibrations. I'm glad for you too, Jolene. Okay, honestly, you just don't want to go into these teachings because it takes you 20 or 30 years to come out of them. Okay, most counseling and psychology is based through organizations that are Christian based. Okay, so if you put your hands into one of those people, it's going to take 20 years to show up as okay. That's why we teach alignment in a holy instant. Boom, come into it and you're free. Okay, let's take it to the next level. So my parents taught me that service. Now, this is really interesting because this is how I'd been modeled too. Modeling is really important. So I had this reflection coming up in my business and that, okay? And it was annoying to say the least. So the people who were coming up were not able to afford my services, okay? And yet I know how magical my services are, okay? So this has been modeled to me all my life. Now think about this, okay? This is really cool. It gets cooler, I promise you, when you trip down into it. So the modeling had been that we would only give service, okay, to people who are absolutely desolate and could not gift back. Isn't that interesting? So I'd been only modeled to, it's like somebody had to, you know, their car's broken, they're homeless, they've got no clothes, they're really poverty stricken, okay, disease, illness, unwellness, okay, and that was who we gave to, and we gave unconditionally. And this has been built into me. Okay, so if you can imagine modeling then to the rest of the world, they became insignificant. No. So I couldn't have a relationship with anybody else when it came to wanting a business because my model only showed up as people who were unable to afford my services. Isn't that interesting? Wow. So this is what I've been up to, this mischief for the last couple of weeks, is getting to the bottom of myself, okay, to see what was this vibrational story. So the vibrational story, and this is why it's so important to share with you as light workers, as living souls, how these things affect us. Okay, so here I have got going on a living vibrational story that is third generation. Okay, it actually comes from my grandmother through my mother to me. I've been here busy this lifetime to break it all off. And you can read about it in the book, Diamond Matrix Mastery, Diamond Matrix Master Self-Mastery Level 1. So breaking these things off, because everything is a vibrational story. That's all it is. It's like I do etheric healing. What is your vibrational story? Okay, is it just something that needs to be removed? Okay, that's what etheric surgery is removing a vibrational story that has been creating profound issues in your life or profound blessing. It can be either. It doesn't matter what your story is, okay? It can be really good, bad, or horror. It doesn't matter. You're a creator, okay? So everything is a matrix. It's a vibrational story that we've got going on. So fear-based was the first one. I was third generation of fear-based parenting. I was modeled a service that I was actually delivering a service and could only to this select few, okay, select few, and these people had to be absolute desolate and could not project back to bless me. My parents to this day, they will not move from their house. They will not go to another person's offers of lunch or anything. It's like, no, you know where we are, okay? So this has been modeled right up to today. It's very, very interesting. Letting Yazzie in, lovely to see her. Okay, so when we've been modeled this service type 2, okay, I have just got this snippet of peoples in the world, not the entire general population, not those who flow abundantly and want to integrate and act with me and participate, etc. I've just got this small minority group in this corner who keeps showing up and showing up and showing up. That's how it works. Okay, that's why we need to understand our vibrational stories. And so, like I said, this has been a third generational one that's now just been removed. Okay, now I wish I could just take all of you and just pop you into my light body so that you get the consciousness of this. Okay, it'd be so cool because, like, I'm talking, it's not the same as living the experience. However, this is kind of the journey work that actually happens when you're going through stuff. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, so here I was journeying again using remote viewing, okay, into lucid dreaming as I'm thinking about the monarch butterfly, and I did the light work, this incredible soul healing, because when your soul ignites, the vibrational story worlds, the human law constructs that have been created, okay, whether you create it or it's a generational program or whatever, what happens is when your soul lights up, your soul can't be contained in that anymore. Your soul is such a vast sovereign light. How could it possibly be contained by a 3D monarch butterfly story? Okay, and that's like healing. How on earth can Parkinson's, okay, ever remain in place when it comes to the great sovereignty of light that you are? It must be released. And that's why we release generational stories, or any vibrational story to the fifth dimension and above. It cannot stand. It has no power. I do not give knowing consent to this. Okay, I'm a master in 3D, whatever I consent to, okay, I am agreeing with. And that's what's going to keep showing up all the time. Let's just have a drink. So back to the single and the dot. So as I was healing myself, for the first time in 7 years, I was removing this generational thing, dissolving it, sending it to the fifth and above. You can violet flame it. You can do many things to do the alchemy around these things. That's what I teach on in my schools. Okay. And what it came to me so clearly. Oh my God. It's like the single and the dot. Okay. So suddenly I actually had full revelation of what I was taught. The single is myself. Okay. So I have the vibrational story going on of this 3-generational pattern. Okay. And the dot is the collective. Now, you know, because I know that you've heard this over and over and over again, that, if I heal myself, it ripples out. But I didn't know why. Okay. Now, if we can use it to get rid of a negative and then do it deliberately as a creator in the positive, we are going to just create the new earth just like that. It's really cool. So this is understanding quantum law. Okay. So this is a foundational one. So the single is me in this vibrational story. Okay. So I do the work because it's just NLP, isn't it? It's just like, just fry the little bugger, send it up to the fifth. Okay. It's actually not so hard. When you see it, it says that you're 50% healed. You're actually like more like 99.9% gone, okay, of a vibrational story pattern that's been holding you at bay for how many generations. So we do all of this generational cleanup. So you're actually a pure system. So you've got nothing holding you back. So the single and the dot. So the single is me doing the healing on myself to bring this to an end. And the dot is the collective. That means who else on this planet is living the Monarch Butterfly program? Okay. And I promise you, and I was shown how many are actually involved in this. Okay. Never heard of it before in my life, but it's shown up. I believe it, and I've gotten rid of it, and I've done the work on behalf of the single and the dot. Isn't that cool? So when you're actually healing anyone, because we've got people here that are healers, okay? When you're doing the light work, this is what I love about light work. There is nothing that can stand. Knowledge is everything. Yes, fantastic. Monarch butterflies. Oh my God. So these are parts of us that's actually been tripping out for around 3 generations, definitely 3 generations. It came in as absolute truth, okay, that you can heal yourself. And look at your act of service, because this is my final point, okay? My service was to this minute crowd of people, group of people who could not return back to me, okay, what it is, okay, that I was 3 monarchs, she says, floating around her. Okay, thanks, Tony. Okay, there's just such beautiful creatures. But the point is that they're flying, aren't they? They're free of the program. They're free to live in the world. They're free to fly. Okay, so let's stay focused here for a moment. This is where we learn to fly. And do you know what? Since this week, I got to the bottom of it. My partner's family have all had immense financial breakthroughs and opportunities come through, myself included, okay? Because I've absolutely removed this story and I've absolutely removed it from those that I love, some in this community that are going to see massive breakthroughs, okay? Because you see, when you remove a vibrational story, it must finish, it must complete itself, okay? So this is why I wrote the book, because we're not taught how to understand these things, okay? We're not taught how to look for signs, not how to seek those answers and receive the freedom. It is kind of, you know, we talk about shadow work. I don't like shadow work, okay? I want to be whole today, okay? And then I just want to do the next thing that comes up, okay? I don't want to be poking around for shadows because I'm a creator, okay? If I poke around for a shadow, I'm going to find it because I'm a creator. I make it. It's like, what do you want popping out of your, you know, closet? It's like, don't create anything you don't want to live. No, this is actually something that had to come up. So there's no judgment against myself and there's no judgment against my parents. Okay, they were actually in the middle of a program. All right, I could have been living through all three of them. I've got no idea. Okay, but when I understood the single and the dot, how cool was that? Okay, who got something from that? So if you're changing a story in your own life, do the story, finish it off for the collective is the point. Wow. Very good. Thank you, Tony. Yeah. So let's bring it back so that we can start intelligent creating, because I really don't care what I've been, you know, held back with or whatever. I knew that I was here to overcome stuff. Okay, so we've done that. Boring. Okay, I'm sick of hearing people's stories. If you want to know the truth, it's like it's all the same stuff. It's duality. Yes, we all experience something. Okay, I want to get into, thanks Kasha, I want to get into intelligent creation, okay, on the other side of it, okay? And that is where we've come to. That is where I am now, okay? Is let's get into intelligent creating with the same points. So take your points, your messages all the way through. Okay, so if I'm going to create on my behalf this freedom, okay, from this thing, I'm going to be creating it on behalf of the collective. See the action? I love that. So that you are deliberately engaging as a creator. Now, let's bring that to the point of true service. So I was taught a very false service. Okay, I could have died on the pew. Sorry, I get a little facetious sometimes. But I could have died in church, all right? And that's not a great place to die. Okay, it's totally set up for death. It's where funerals take place. All right, not good. Go out in the box if you want to. However, okay, how about we start creating from a point of service? Now, I've taught you in the law of acquisition how to acquire stuff, haven't I? Okay, by using quantum law and by unwrapping your creation streams and your creation wrappings that you've been vibrationally held, okay, within, either doing it to yourself or doing it through others. But imagine if we were of service, and so this beautiful word, all you want to do is love me. All you want to, when we come into alignment, we project that quantum principle. All you want to do is love me. Oh, I sat in that, projected it, easiness, and I dissolved the stories that were in my financial world, that were in my parenting world, relationship world, etc. all you want to do is love me. All you want to do is love me. And I projected into that and dissolved. And my life changed because my stories were changing. In fact, I was just dissolving stories. Better not to create stories is my thoughts on it. Okay, who am I letting in? Okay, so not creating stories, but rather dissolving plan B so that we can come into plan A, yes? Okay, so now we go from the place of all you want to do is love me, and everything dissolves in pure alchemy. And when you then come to a place of your soul sovereign self being in charge and the presence truly here, right now, okay, and again, it brings us back to that point in memory that is devoid of the past is right here, right now. It's not anticipating the future. It's right here, right now. Isn't that right? So when I'm in my presence, when I'm sitting in the presence and I'm projecting, my acts of service becomes more pure because I am that I am. I am a creator projecting. And that's why it's so important to understand your soul sovereign self and how it actually works, because you are projecting into using your life force itself into what it is that you want to experience. Isn't that amazing? Which means your act of service, your true service, is as a creator to the collective. Let's round this off. Isn't that beautiful? So you become a creator that is truly free to create on behalf of those in your community. You know, both healing with physical stuff. Okay, like I say, you know, you need a bus. Why go ask the government for a grant and have to wait 3 years for that to happen? Why do these things on a 12 monthly basis? Okay, that's what happens in Australia. Okay, how about we just go bus, want a bus, and just give it to them. It's a bus. Okay, you know that you are thinking it as a creator. Bring it to you. Bring whatever you want to you. Okay, the law of acquisition says you just need to ask and you will receive. There's nothing stopping you. Okay, put that big Google Maps sign on the top of your head. Okay, that, you know, if you order Uber Eats, it doesn't go to another address, it comes to you. Okay, you end up eating it yourself. Okay, so it has to come to you, whatever it is that you're ordering. But wait until we become mature creators. Once we come through this doorway, okay, into soul sovereignty and the new leadership comes through, okay, you watch for it, they are creators. And they're creating magnificent creators on behalf of the new earth, okay, the 5D reality. And we should be creating it anyway. Old earth, I don't care where we're at, we're creators. Let's have fun. You know, so coming out of that sovereignty, oh, the blessing is just amazing. Okay, what has opened up has just been amazing. So I want to just finish off. We're coming up. I've actually done pretty good. Okay, let's just see. So the idea of this is to come out of the false old world creation and the way service is. Okay, service is not just giving of yourself, giving of yourself, giving of yourself. Okay, it's no wonder that the rest of the world couldn't participate, because I was actually rejecting it as a part of this program. Okay, as part of the story. Now I understand with the single and the dot, the single is me. Okay, and as I heal myself, project onto the quantum field, I can then also go and let's give it to everyone. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, not just me, but you also. Okay, let's do it deliberately. Okay, put your hands up if you're willing to start creating deliberately. Okay, and bless those around you. It's sort of like, this is the true service model. Anything less is just on the old premise. Okay, it's not going to be as abundant as it could be. Honestly, when you learn the law of acquisition, it took me 18 months to learn that law of acquisition. Okay, and for those that have been through it, it's deadly, isn't it? Okay, when you know that you're a creator and you can project and create anything that you want, okay, by removing the things that have been wrapping you. And they're just etheric stories, okay? So I've just gotten rid of a big third generational etheric story, didn't even know it exists. And that's why you don't and cannot judge yourself on anything, okay? We don't know what your background is, you know, we don't know what you're here to do, but you are coming into 5D, which means that all of that stuff has to come to an end. It can't exist with your soul sovereign tree of life experience. Okay, so all is well. What was that last message? Maybe I should get those messages up. Now, does anyone have a question that's relevant to what we've been talking about? Like I said, you know, I train light workers and I want you to be able to understand how these things work etherically. Duality is so old school. Yeah, it is. Ah, thank you, Anne. Wonderful. Yasmin, great to have you here. Does anyone have a question? Yes, Joe, let's go.
At the beginning, you were talking about lucid dreaming for a moment, and it's something that I've tried, but I've not really been able to figure out. You got any like tips or tricks to better get into lucid dreaming?
I love it. I love it. We'll just turn your mic off for a moment. Thanks, Joe. So lucid dreaming is just one way of seeking information. I'm not a dreamer, okay? There's some amazing books out there on, you know, soul life and the afterlife and how dreams are actually spliced in to get certain messages when you are to become conscious of the next thing. And I can't think whether I've got one book here. It's amazing. Anyway, so I'm not into that, okay? It's like, no, okay, I'm not into dreams because they're a bit too weird. I'm great at interpreting them. If anyone wants to bring their dreams to me, not a problem. Okay, I can absolutely help you with that. I've got a lot of insight. But at the same time, I don't really like it, okay? Don't scare the bejeebers out of me, okay? I would rather go on an intellectual explore using my mental mind, okay, to journey into it so that I can actually get to the scientific element of it. So what I'm doing is I'm feeling, so you are actually consciously feeling what it is that you're seeking. So in mine, it was the monarch butterfly, bringing it to an end. And I had no clue that the single and the dot was going to come up as a part of the freedom that was, I didn't know that that revelation was associated. It's only because I finally came into another experience that lined up with the single and the dot consciousness. Okay, so you never know what you're going to show up. In the book, I write, there's a chapter on resistance, which is just magnificent. Okay, this little one was driving me nuts. Had to see where this resistance comes from. And I went into lucid dreaming deep, deep, deep in it. And then I was shown the generational patterning over both the parents and also the grandmother and that. So you actually will get generational lineage feedback on what's what, and you could call that going into the Akashic records. Don't mind what you want to call it. Okay, I ask one question at a time. Okay, and if I have feelings like a consciousness feeling about it, I'll be drawing on the feeling of it, and I'll just continue on that. And sometimes I could be in that all day. Okay, so I'll get up and I'll be holding it in my escrow, in my light body. Does that answer it?
Kind of sounds like becoming a vibrational match to what you want to do, see, and create.
Yes, yes, and that's exactly what it is. When it shows up, you're becoming a vibrational absolute, okay, to that message, and you'll get it. It's just written in there. When things come to you, I want you to trust it, okay? It's so important. This is why I wrote that piece in the book. It's like, please start bringing your heart to heart messages, heart to heart, living soul messages through. Start sharing the light, start sharing the true reality, start sharing the true governance okay, that's coming in, because the rest is just nonsense. Okay, it's just a waste of time. We've already spent a long time in nonsense. I don't have time for it. You know, I'm 56 in October. I have to start doing something to move forward a bit quicker. Got to use my decade well, Joe. Any questions?
We are
Whew.
just speechless.
Thank you, Carter.
I could throw another one out. You were talking about shadow work, and that led me to ask an odd question to myself. So, like, what would the difference between shadow, or what is the difference between shadow work and triggers? Is it that, like, shadows you seek and triggers kind of find you?
Okay, so there's a lot of okay, so the spiritual hierarchy is sitting in here at the moment, and a lot are actually still based in 4D duality. So a lot of the teaching is right versus wrong, good versus bad, and I'm not doing the right thing, and I've got to find my shadows before I can actually be this. And that's a false teaching. Okay. The true consciousness teaching is be whole. When you come into alignment, you are projecting from your wholeness, and then you'll get your answers on anything. Okay. When you believe in duality, you're actually back to front and you're not in alignment. I'm going, okay, guides, spirit guides, who's going to talk to me today? Need to do card readings and all of this stuff to actually get somebody to help me. Please help me is the back to front reality. Please help me. I need your help. I need your support. Okay, to get through. How am I doing this? So many of those people are still in using psychic gifts. The psychic realm is still utilizing duality, which means high levels of duality through the dimensions, actually tapping in and wasting your time. And again, if you read the book, I've got some amazing, just a couple of examples of that where I was given a tarot reading, and thankfully I'd already had my own message come to me the day before. And after that, I had a reading which would have, because everything is vibrational, if I believe something, it would have actually put me 12 months behind while I'm following the fool for 12 months, believing this concept. So I would have actually put a vibrational construct around my life. I'm a vibrational creator. If I actually do that, man, that's just wasting a year of my life. I don't have a year to waste. Like I said, I want to use the next decade up intelligently. Okay, so better to be in alignment and ask the questions to the greater you, because it's going to come through purely and you will get it without, there's no duality in this. Okay, I came to a whole state of being, just what was affecting me. Does that make sense? It's way more pure.
I kind of feel like today's message to me is just be in a vibrational alignment.
That's it. Superb. And while you're doing light work, Joe, make sure that you're doing it on behalf of yourself and doing your half on the collective. So I'm hoping that your service will be like that. Behalf of yourself, I am healed of this. Oh, I've just expanded, got rid of that, thank God. Now we can actually get on and do it for the collective. That's true service. Okay, so I'm going to frame this up and put it in. I don't know whether to put it in the replay. Shall I put it in the replay, or I find, yeah, okay. As long as you believe that our audience is mature enough for this, I believe that it is. I believe that it has to be taught anyway. It's like sooner or later, you know, we have to come into these understandings so that we can free ourselves without judgment, things that are actually affecting us. And then how to create much more purely on behalf of the collective. Okay, that's really, really cool. So like I said, this part of my family, these people have been stuck forever. Okay, the things that have been going on, okay, has been quite chronically shocking to me. And yet, you know, it aligned with the patterning that was going on. So being able to release that and then see and witness them being released this last week or so, extraordinary. Okay, so for anyone with that butterfly effect, the monarch butterfly, notice that you'll probably end up opening up to new stuff, new opportunities. Okay, any other questions? All right. Okay, well, I'm going to, would anyone like to take a moment to share what you got out of today and whether you enjoyed it or not?
Yeah, definitely a great session today, Ruth. I don't know exactly who and all brought their energy today, but it seems like everybody brought quite a bit to share with the room. So it was definitely a very high vibration today. And like I said earlier, it seemed like the message coming through, for me at least, is just to become in a vibrational alignment of what you want to create. And I've heard it many times before, but it's like today it finally got through that thick skull. So thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, the presence was awesome. Okay, it just comes through straight away. When you've got the presence of your soul coming through, it's like, whoo, sit back and listen, project, let's get it right. Okay, it's worth taking time with it. Oh boy, it's powerful stuff, freeing. Dr. Kim, I'd love to hear from you. Hello.
Hello, hello. I've been very taken recently with exclamation points.
Stop.
It's yes. It's if I had only one punctuation that I could always use, it would be that. And so I'm really taken by the story of the single and the dot. And it just really felt deeply touched by that, and can see so much of the power of that in my life and for the community, the global community. So thank you for wrestling with that, holding that for so long, and having it come to you. Really great example for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. Appreciate. I know we're catching up for a chat at some point.
Soon, very soon.
Hey, Elizabeth.
So, the whole Christian religious versus spirituality and sovereignty, I think, is definitely a mature issue. It's an issue that really, really needs to be spoken to and reiterated, especially within the confines of a spiritual community.
Yeah.
And it definitely, from my childhood and my perspective, it just hits on so many of the issues that you brought up in terms of, your family of origin and how there's a us versus them kind of a premise.
Yes.
When it comes to just growing yourself spiritually and and also wanting to honor your family of origin, and not exclude them, not continue that duality within the confines of your own spiritual work. And so, just some of the points that you brought up just hit on so many pertinent issues. And the thing is that we've been on this journey for over 30 years, and it just shows me that we grow in spurts, and then sometimes we can just have this volcano of an epiphany and of an awakening, and it really speaks to energetically what's going on in the world. Now is the time for these revelations to really emerge. And because we're a collective community, and because we're moving into our sovereignty, we can we can grow that exponentially, and we can grow that within our community. And we are the seed planters. We're the way showers, and then we're the lantern bearers. And so this is an exquisite, ripe piece of fruit. It's a jewel. It's a diamond. Yay! I loved it. Loved it. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You know, it takes one to go through the journey to understand this, and yet there's so many millions and millions and millions that are associated with the dualistic teachings of religion. Any religion, doesn't matter what it is. Okay, it's taught us to stay at the bottom on our knees, and it's time for us to rise up and become free, sovereign creators.
And we don't realize how steeped in the program we are.
No, we don't.
Realize how immersed in a program we are.
That's right.
Even when it comes to, I'm not sleeping versus insomnia. Insomnia is a part of the program. I'm not sleeping means that there's something inside of you that is awakened to pay attention to something. Insomnia means something outside of me is keeping me awake, and waking up and being aware of why you're awake is an intrinsic, internal experience. And that's just one piece of the program. It's like, why am I awake? Well, because I'm supposed to be.
Yes, so much logic in this. Honestly, we have lost our logic. It's like, oh my God, I can't sleep. I've got to get 8 hours. No, you don't. As a soul sovereign, you only need about 4 hours, and you can actually create businesses and God knows what on top. Okay, just come back around, rest when you want to, get into a 24-hour cycle. You do not need to sleep. So there's so much false nonsense just about our day-to-day living, which is why we've become addicted to chemicals and God knows what. Don't get me started, Elizabeth, but you're spot on. You need a masterclass because there's not enough people speaking on this. Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, I wanted to add something, Ruth. Again, I am so thankful for this time with you, because before you, Elizabeth, and before Noble Goldman, I was a complication of convulsion of those weird energies, moving around in my body and my mind. And as we know, the memory is within every cell of our body. It's not just our brain. So I believe like those snakes of this energy, they were like convulsing in my memory of my body constantly. And right now I'm in such a peace. It's so priceless. It's so priceless. Thank you so much for those reminders every time I see you. And even I was late today, I still got your diamonds, and I so appreciate knowing you. And
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Kim, of dragging me here, because I got so busy with my stuff and I forgot that it's 12 o'clock and I have to be here. So thank you, Dr. Kim, and thank you, Elizabeth.
We're building a strong community. Isn't that beautiful? A strong community. Okay, we're building a strong community, a strong New Earth leadership. Okay, we talk about leadership. You need to know what leadership is. Most people don't even know what leadership is. Okay, leadership is coming into soul sovereignty in alignment with the greater you to project true creations, bringing through the new technologies that's coming through. Okay, new technologies, new financial systems. Okay, we're tapping into all of this. This is not just popping up now for no reason. This is popping up because we've been asking for it. Okay, it's coming through the genius of Noble Goldman. Oh, it's such a genius platform. We got experts coming in with expertise, okay, on all sorts of subject matter, okay, that they are experts in. You want to see this platform grow? This is a magic platform, okay? This is built like on the golden means I've done the maths. It's come through to me, you know, understanding as to why this platform is so deadly. Okay, it is huge. It's going places. And I just say thank you to Mark Santos again for
Yes.
being a part of delivering this to us. Okay, and I realize how perfect he is because he's a programmer. He thinks in millions and billions. Okay, there's no way I could have built it because I don't think big enough. Okay, it's been built with the intention of large amounts of people coming through. So it's such a perfect platform and I'm so grateful for it. So thank you so much. And of course to our QEC, okay, or quantum vision community, okay, as we're now being referred to in the vault with Tony Taylor and Michelle Grote, with Matthew Gardner and Malek Amir. Okay, we're just so grateful for these visionaries who've actually set this up and are working towards something so great that we actually can talk about this thing. I talk on consciousness, that's my thing. How many of you here on many other things, okay, areas of expertise like cryptocurrency, marketing, attraction marketing, okay, great coaching, all sorts of different things are on this platform and we need more, okay? We need natural health programs, we need education. There's so much more to add. Excuse my raspy voice, it's 5 a.m. here, turning into 6 a.m. so I better go. But diamond blessings. Diamond is the new energy that we're upgrading to. Your light bodies are being upgraded to the diamond. That's why the diamond is relevant to you, because it is 5D photon energy, because we're coming into the photon belt. This is the astrological belt of energy that we're moving into. Okay, so it's all science. Isn't that cool? It's not about spirituality, it's about science. I love that. Okay, it gets me out of this whole old context that we've been driven by. Okay, so it's all science. We're moving into the greater us, and it's a glorious time to be alive. Yes, we are creating a full ecosystem. Absolutely. Thanks, Lisa. Yes, excuse me. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing a parenting, not even parenting, how to facilitate children with quantum law. Anyway, excuse me, I'm going to go and clear my throat.